It can all end tonight. It can all fucking end tonight. All this battles, all these division battle shit, it can all be finished tonight. This division could be ours by the time this night is done with. What's up, everybody? Thursday night. You know who this is. Eagles against the Seattle Seahawks. I'm just going to preview the game right here. Just go over some things. Eagles are 10-1. A win on Sunday night against the Seattle Seahawks in Seattle. The Eagles tie the franchise record for most wins won in a row. They tie, we already had an earthquake like about 3 hours ago that I felt. Now the fucking light wants to act funny. It's getting spooky. But back to what I was saying, dude. We could end up with the tie in the 2009 team for what would be the best Eagles team since the Super Bowl year at 11 wins. And honestly, if you ask me, this Eagles team's better than the 2009 team personally. Me personally. And we got the Seahawks. Eagles, I just did some research on the stats. Eagles have the 6th ranked defense in the NFL. And, if they get a good game, they play well here. Very possible they could end up with the 3rd or 4th ranked defense before the time the night's over with. I know Seattle's injured, especially on defense. I know they're banged up, but it is worth pointing out there that they do have the 8th ranked defense in the league. And I didn't want to hear it with all this bullshit. Oh, you're catching Seattle at a good time. They're injured. Our job is to win the fucking game and do our job. So I didn't want to hear that shit. And as far as I see it, the Seahawks are 7-4, and they're a desperate football team that has to win this game. But the way I see it, even when the Seahawks sucked all them motherfucking years, when they sucked in the post Matt Hasselbeck years, when they sucked in the 90s, mid to early 90s, and they had Travaris Jackson as their quarterback before Russell Wilson came in, they were always a tough out at home. Every fucking time, even when they were horrible, they were always a tough team to beat at home. And that's why this game is a test. And I think it's a test, and it is something you have to watch for, because it's going to be a rowdy, loud, crazy environment, and we saw this last year. So Eagles got to know what they're going into, the type of environment they're going into. It's obviously going to be a test. And Russell Wilson, as far as I see it, is still somebody that, you got to pay attention to because of how good he is. And I remember the last time the Eagles won in Seattle was 2008. And like I said, Seattle always been a tough out at home. Eagles have struggled the last few times they've played the Seahawks. 2014, last year's game, the 2014 game when they came to the Link and beat us. The Chip Kelly, fast-paced shit going up against that defense that the Seahawks had. Yeah, that didn't really work, but the game was close. That was the first game the secondary really got exposed. Like Doug Baldwin going up against Bradley Fletcher went off on Fletcher for like 6 or 7 catches and $150 receiving yards. That was the first game we really started to see the secondary get, exposed, so to say. This secondary is by far none, head and shoulders better than the secondary they saw in 2014. I'm sorry. And you know what? Even in the years the Seahawks played at the Kingdome, they have always been a tough out. Like the 92 game, the Seahawks came into that game 2-11. Eagles needed to win for playoff seeding. They eventually made the playoffs that year. They struggled to beat the Seahawks. Game went to overtime, they won. So this is something we got to watch for. But the Eagles earned a 10-1 record. We are the favorites going into Seattle for the first team favorites going into Seattle in over 5 years. So the Eagles are doing what they're doing. I saw the injury report, and look, Jimmy Graham didn't practice today. Bobby Wagner didn't practice today. Those guys don't play, it's over. Because that's their last remaining chance at what they have to win this fucking game. Jimmy Graham is somebody the Eagles definitely have to watch for, because Jimmy Graham, being as tall as he is, him being a big play type tight end, he's getting older. He's up there in age now, but he can still, watching the Seahawks play this year, he's definitely still got it. Bobby Wagner brings a lot on defense. If those guys don't play, that's even a bigger chance of winning They're already without Cliff Averill. They're already without Richard Sherman. Already without Cam Chancellor. You add more to that injury report. Jesus Christ, dude. I'm even more so. I'm loving our chances. So, I mean, Chancellor, Sherman, and Averill, they're all big losses on D. So, but you know what we're going up against with the Seahawks. So, this game, I'll give you a major key to the game. The key to winning this football game is if the Eagles can get the running game going. The Eagles, with the Ajayi, Blunt, Clement, has been balling on all fucking cylinders all fucking year long. If we can get the running game going against, you know, whatever they're bringing in their front seven, we can get that running game going, it's over. Because I love the matchups that Ertz and Jeffrey bring to the table against that defense, especially without those guys being there. If we could get the running game going, Corey Clement gets a couple first downs for 5 runs the way he's done this year. Blunt goes off, has a good game, pounds in the rock. We give it to Ajayi, and he's running the fucking ball everywhere you go. And we get that run game going with those guys. Like I said, there is absolutely no shot in hell the Seattle Seahawks win this game if that happens. And I put it like this, looking at the matchup, I love the matchup of the Eagles front seven, the Eagles #1 rated rushing defense in the league going up against their running backs. I love that matchup. That's my favorite matchup of this game, actually. And look, I followed CJ Prosise at Notre Dame. I know what CJ Prosise can bring to that table. They had a big run on us in that game last year, but they don't have much in that running game that really sticks out to you. And going up against, you know, in last year's team, had a bunch of I said this before, we had a bunch of misfits playing for us. You know, I love that defense going up against their running backs. Let's just leave it at that. But Prosise does not scare me against what we're bringing into the fucking Seattle this time around. I can tell you that right now. Neither do any of them other guys they're running. So, of course, you got to watch for Russell Wilson. He loves doing that play-action shit. He's shifty. We know what we're going up against. He likes to run around, buy more time for his receivers. It helps the whole offense. We all know what we're going up against, you know, with the Seattle Seahawks. Watching that Monday night game, I know Speed will be at this game. I was watching the Monday night game against the Falcons, and the Falcons are a team. They got hot at this time last year, but the Seahawks gave the Falcons, despite them being banged up, they gave Atlanta all they had. And if not for Pete Carroll at the end of the first half, faking that field goal like that, who the fuck knows? So, who knows how that could have went down? So, who the fuck knows how that could have went down? I was watching that game. Atlanta went in there and won, and you know what? It's obviously, I think we can do so. The Redskins went in there and won. If those teams did it, I think we should be able to do it too in front of a primetime audience. Let's show the whole world what this fucking Eagles team is about. Let's show the whole world what we've been doing all fucking season. Back us the fuck up, Eagles. I'm not fucking playing around here. And I hope to see you motherfuckers at the end of the night celebrating the division championship with yours truly. I hope to be back later tonight. We'll see.